Hey guys, welcome back. This is episode number 2 of Turn Back the Clock. And I'm your host, Dylan and Adam. And we are going to talk about the 1950s sets that we didn't discuss in this roundtable that we did this last week. There's a few sets that didn't really get any mention and any love, and one even got poo-pooed. Well, we just kind of want to talk about it, show a couple cards from that era, and then we're going to dive into the future of a different topic. So just every week, we're going to be changing the topic. And tonight, we're going to talk about Adam's incredible Mickey Mantle collection. Now, if you guys don't know how crazy Adam is about his Mickey Mantle cards, you really gotta check out his channel and see the stuff that he's got. It's incredible, and he does tons. He probably has thousands of non-playing day cards. So, with all that said, Adam, you want to talk about the 50s to begin with?
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, that was such a fun time. That it reminded me of like when I was in high school and college. My buddies and me would like sit around and we would just talk about. We would make like rankings and lists, and we would like have debates like what team was better than this team in history, or which player. How do you rank your? So it was like so fun for me because it took me right back to what I used to do all the time. Anyway, it's just we're doing it with cards and sets. So that 50s talk was awesome with Adam and Doug. Just great group we had there. That was a great time. So yeah, but I thought about it, and specifically for me, I said my favorite set based on my criteria in that roundtable was the 1958 top set, and then my second favorite was 56. But there was, I would say, the third set, and it was close, that I really wanted to mention that we didn't mention at all in that talk was the 1959 top set. For me personally, that similar to 58, it's just got so many cool cards in it. It's not like some of the other sets that have all base cards, which again are great. But I'm a guy, I like the all-star cards, I like the multiplayer cards, the subsets, and 59 tops has some incredible cards. I have. You let me know when you want me to show them.
Yeah, let me blast you, dude. That's what it's about. Your solo.
So, I'll start with of course, a Mantle. Had this one for a while. So the base cards are awesome too. I mean, just the color. This is the 59 tops Mantle and a PSA 7.
Oh man, that is nice.
And look at that! Look at that label. It starts with a 0. Old school label there.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Probably graded 20 years ago. But yeah, just a beautiful. I love the red and the circle there. I mean, it's just such a great looking set. I know you like those logos there. Beautiful base card.
That's an iconic, like that's a I don't know why about that card right there. It just shoots Yankees to me, even though it's red. That card is just, it's such a sick card. I don't have that card and I really want it, but I have the generic versions, the Whitey Ford and the Maris, but it just doesn't hit the buttons like that one.
And I didn't bring it with me, but I have the All-Star card of Mantle too. So I love the All-Star cards in 59. I'm sure you.
Yeah, I got one right here. I'll pop it on.
Yeah.
All right. So dude, I wanted to talk about the 59 set so bad too.
Yeah.
This guy right here, I've got quite a few, but this is the Ernie Banks.
Wow.
And so the Sporting News All-Star cards, just the design of these, isn't it just an awesome card?
Yes.
There's something about this design, and then the backs are really cool. I just love them. And then you also, in that set, not to take your thunder, but you have these, which are one of my favorite designs of all time in all of tops.
Those are awesome.
They're awesome, but there's no mega stars.
Right.
You got Ron Fairley, but it just doesn't do it. I just wish there was a Mickey Mantle or anybody.
I know.
But just awesome cards, and it looks like a base card on the back, which is really weird. But yeah, continue on after I stole your thunder.
And the Mantle All-Star's got like a blue background, so like I think I'm right. I think the 59. It's got like a blue Sporting News background. So it's not like they kind of, for the American League, right? It was blue and then red maybe for the National. Or, I don't know.
Yes, they do. Yeah. You know what? I'm trying to think. Yeah, I believe so. I think that's the same as the 58, right? Because the Mays, yeah, I actually have all red ones, which is really weird.
Okay.
So I need to look. You know what? What's super cool? So I don't know if you guys know. Let me just pull solo mission really fast to show guys.
Look at that thing.
I muted myself. Okay, are you familiar with this book, Adam?
No, I don't think so.
This is a must-have for every collector. So when I'm doing a show like this, or like what we did, this has every Topps card designed.
Whoa.
For the last, I don't know what this goes up to, like 85 or something. This is where I get all my information. So instead of looking through my collection sometimes, I just like looking through this book. So I highly recommend it. And Cyberger put this together. So you know it's a good book. And then you also have Willie Mays wrote in this book as well. There's a paragraph that he wrote in here. Just in every single year. Let me see if I pull one up really fast. I know I don't really like it when people show books either. It's really weird. But just to show you guys, it talks about the set and how it's laid out. And it's just a really a must-have for any collector out there. They're like $30 on eBay. You can get them. You have to have one. So that's my main go-to when I'm searching for cards too. I'll hunt through that book and just look for which ones. So a good way for me to check to see if there's blue ones would have been go to 59, search in there. But yeah, so 59. What else you got? What other ones you want to talk about?
I got 3 more from 59. Probably my 3 favorites, really, of any of the cards. So, I mean, one of my favorite cards of all time. One of my favorite subsets of all time, which is another reason I love this set, the Baseball Thrills.
Yes.
These cards are awesome. And let me tell you, this is a PSA 8. These are, in my opinion, very, very inexpensive compared to what they probably should be. I mean, it's a 1958 Willie Mays card. And you can, check the prices of these Baseball Thrills cards, and they're nowhere near what like even the base cards are from 59 as far as prices.
Yeah, they're mega cheap in my opinion. That's the most expensive one in the whole set. Dude, look at this. You're going to trip out because, wait, let me see. Exit solo. Look at that. I have it framed up.
Yeah.
Above my desk right now. This is one of my favorite cards I've ever had in my whole life. My dad had this, not this exact piece of cardboard, but this card in his drawer as a kid. And it was ripped, like half of it was ripped apart. And this was like one of the first cards I had to own as a vintage collector. So I love that you brought that up. And I didn't even have that on my list because it's sitting over top of my desk.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
For me, that was one of the that's one of the reasons I wanted to go on YouTube is the off chance that like some younger person, younger generation will come across, one of my videos where I talk about some of these stories that I was told as a kid and maybe pass that on somehow to, even if it's just to one person and then it catches on and they think it's a cool story. I mean, this was a story I was told when I was a kid that Willie Mays made the greatest catch of all time in the World Series, 1954. And this is a card of that. I mean, it's incredible to me, the thought of this card. So
I agree.
I always love it. And this is my highest graded Mantle card in my Mantle Playing Days card in my collection. A mint 9 in the
love that card.
Mantle hits 42nd homer for Crown Baseball Thrills. I mean, again, if we're just going off of like the way the card looks to me, the design, the photo, the art on it, like this is up there for me as far as greatest cards. I know it's not considered like one of his best cards and it doesn't sell for what even the base card sells for. But I mean,
is it the World Series? Because that looks like a World Series banner in the background.
Yeah.
It's just an incredible card. I have that card, but a mint 9, you're out of your mind.
Yeah, I went for it on this one. Again, got it. I got it probably 2 or 3 years ago. So much. But I did a video on this card way back, and the price on this card really hasn't moved that much. I'm not saying it's like under the radar, but it's not, it's not a card you see a lot, like on people showing off cards on social media.
No,
But
it's
I
not.
think it's one of the best cards of Mantle. I really
Yeah,
do.
I agree. I agree. Oh, I'm sure that nines moved a lot. Maybe the lower grade version of that card hasn't moved much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like a $40 card you can get in a lower grade, no problem.
Yeah, and it's got the ball in the air above. I mean, it's just
Insane.
incredible. And then the last one from 59, I got this card today in the mail, and I didn't get it because of this. It just happened. It was a card that I need to credit you because you showed it
Yes.
on your channel. And when I saw it, I don't know how I had never seen this card before. But you showed it on your channel, and I was like, how have I never seen that card? It's Fence Busters.
Ah, yes.
And when you showed it, I was like, he's right. That is one of the most beautiful cards of all time.
Yep.
And I was like, I got to get that. And I finally got around to getting it. And it got here today in the mail. PSA
Dude, that's
7.
awesome.
Yep.
We're twinsies on the 7 on that too. Mine's on my wall right now above me.
Yeah, I mean, I think I paid. Oh man, it was 100. I don't know, 100. I don't remember, but it was not like crazy prices. Again, for a PSA 7, 1958 card or 1959 card with Hank Aaron and Eddie Matthews on it. Yeah, I'll take it. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean those two guys. Imagine being a pitcher and going against those two guys in the lineup. Those guys were incredible together.
Yep.
Like that card means so much to me. I can't, dude. I can't believe that's another card that I didn't bring out to show. You know,
Yeah, well,
sick.
I got us covered on that one. So
That's awesome.
yeah,
Oh, I'm so stoked you got that.
I was so like, I'm like, it's 1950. It's not like it's some obscure set. I'm like, how the heck did I never see that? And when I had Scott from Reindeer Studios on for a 3 and 3 on my channel, he showed there's one of those cards with Cleveland Indians. I think it's Colavito and somebody else.
Yeah.
And I forget the name of the card. Like it's the same
Clemente's
thing.
on it too.
Yeah. And I was like, how have I never seen that card either? It's from from a set that's very popular. I don't know. Sometimes they just escape you. And
you got to get that. You got to get the book that I got.
Yep. I need the book. So that's it. Yeah. 59 tops. I wanted to give that some recognition because again, I never mentioned it and I meant to, but I think that's, and for me, my third favorite in the whole 50s.
That's awesome. Yeah, I can't disagree with that. So with you doing your third favorite, what's funny, Adam, is we have the same opinion on the 56 tops. I'll show one here. That is my number 2. And I kind of based my opinions on, obviously number 1 was off design, but also just because I looked at my collection and realized that I had more 56s and more 58s than anything else. So obviously those were my favorite sets. And the 58 was a kind of a no-brainer for me.
Can
But
I
I
ask you
agree
a
with you on
question
that one.
on that 56 Ted Williams card that you just showed?
Yeah.
I don't know, for some reason, every time I've ever seen that card, does it look like he's looking up like he just popped up?
Oh yeah. Yeah, totally.
Like it
Yeah,
doesn't
let's
look
show
like
that.
he
Let's
hit a
show that
home run,
again.
right?
Yeah, you're right. It's totally a full pop-up foul ball.
Yeah, so
Or not foul ball, but it could be foul or yeah, he popped up, no doubt.
Yeah, like I wish they used a different one where he hit a home run when he's like looking out over the fence. Like, I don't know.
Right.
It's a great card, but that's always for me like one of the reasons I've never bought it yet. I probably will at some point, but I never got it just because it's like I can't get that out of my head. It's weird things, man, that happens. I don't know.
I love that because I never really noticed that, and I have 3 of these because it's like one of my favorite Ted Williams cards.
Yeah, well, I don't want to ruin it for you.
And okay, so another set that we totally did not talk about whatsoever was one of the greatest sets of all time as well, and in 1955 tops. And I say 1955 tops is kind of a runoff of the 1954 tops with a different layout, with a sideways layout. So here you got your Warren Spahn in SGC 5. I love Warren Spahn's cards. He has fantastic looking cards. And then, of course, I have 2 or 3 of these Williams cards, different grades. Can't go wrong. Yeah, and you got Clemente's rookie.
Well, I think Dylan dropped off for a sec. He'll probably be right back, but I actually brought my Oh, while you were
Oh,
gone,
there
I
you go.
figured I'd show my Ted Williams too.
Yes. Oh yeah, look at that. That's sick.
Yours is better centered. Mine's a
It
6,
is.
and yours is better
Yeah,
centered.
yours is sharp corners.
Yeah. But it's just a really cool card. I mean, the logo, the old Red Sox logo, and him
It
taking a
is.
cut. Beautiful art card. Love it.
Yep, I agree. Yeah, we kind of skipped over that 55 set, and it's funny. I mean, there was just 4 of us on the panel, but 55 is absolutely stunning design. And then you got Clemente's rookie, you got Harmon Kilbrew's rookie. God, who else? Sandy Koufax's
Oh man.
rookie, the one
Wow.
that I have to get. Like, I don't know
Me
how I
too.
don't have that card yet. Uh
I don't have
it,
any of those rookies. I don't have the Clemente
yeah,
rookie, Koufax, or the Killebrew rookie. And now that I think of it, I was saying that 54 was the best rookie year. Man, 55's up there too. That's
it's
tough.
up there. I still say 54 beats it. You got Banks and Hank Aaron and Al Kaline.
Right. Right.
But yeah, you could definitely make an argument that 55 is better. Especially there's a lot of huge diehard Clemente fans.
Yep.
So there's an argument to be made. So the next set, there's 2 other sets we didn't really talk about. One we poo-pooed on, and I as well happened to just get a lot of cards, a 3 lot, and they had one picture on eBay, and then you had to click on there and go and look at the other cards. And I just randomly, I'm like an opportunistic guy on eBay, just hunting what's ending soonest and search for 4 hours, and then like the ones I want to follow through, right? So I scored. I was super stoked on this. I'll show you these 57 tops. The ones we both all said were our least favorite. Maybe our least favorites, but they're still really glorious. It's a glorious, clean looking set. I got this
Whoa.
Duke Snyder and a PSA 5, perfectly centered. I have a PSA 6 in this, which is going up on eBay this weekend because it's slightly off centered. It's still very nice, the one I'm going to sell. I was just stunned. And then the guy that I bought these from sent me a message, and he watched my YouTube channel, which was so funny. I couldn't believe it. Oh, what are you doing selling these things? And then I got this Campanella, perfectly centered, 3.5. I love this Campy card. I love his pants, how baggy they are.
Yep.
I've always just loved this image. So just a stunning card. And then I also got this Ernie Banks, which I had sold earlier in the year. I put it in one of those packs, and it was a off-centered version. And I love this centered one so much more. So all 3 of those cards, it was $200 and something, $210 with shipping and everything. I was just stoked to get them. Perfectly centered, all 3 of them. So glorious, glorious set. You have any of those 57s to show off?
I don't have any of the 57s, but I it's like that with pretty much all the sets from like, vintage sets. The more I look at it, like just looking at that, like I said the same thing. Oh, 57's my least favorite. Again, I love all the sets from the 50s, but if you have to rank them, least favorite. But now that I'm looking at those cards, I'm like, man, that set's awesome too. Like I love the writing, like because it reminds you of the 53 Bowman colored because it's like, big
Yep.
photos. But then you get that cool writing, different color writing for the names and the team names on there. And man, that's not an easy set to find dead centered copies like that. Wow,
Yeah,
those are awesome.
yeah, it's tough. Yeah, I was really stoked to find 3 in one auction. Like,
Yeah,
boom. Oh yeah, I'll take all those. I
yeah,
mean, I bid $100 higher than what it ended at. I wanted those cards so bad. I know how hard that Banks is to get centered, and that Duke Snyder. The Campy, I'm not sure of because I haven't hunted for that one, but the Banks I've hunted for, and the Duke Snyder I hunted for in the past. I just happen to just love those 2. But yeah, man, I got it for $100 cheaper than what I thought.
you
Oh,
got a great deal on those, I
I
think.
was super stoked. I think so too. So the last set that no one picked as their winner, but it's kind of obvious that it's one of the most nostalgic sets ever created by Topps. And if I had a choice to have any set all the way through, I would definitely pick 1952 Topps. There's just no other set like it. And it's an oversized set, oversized cards, and they're impossible to find centered. Literally, like every card is either sideways or crooked, or or the coloring isn't right, or the registration, they're really hard to find. And so I struggle with that set. I have probably 7 cards graded from that set, and the good ones are on my wall, the Duke Snyder, and I think the Yogi's in my somewhere floating around. But I got a couple here. Did you bring any to show?
No, I was gonna say I honestly only had one graded 52 tops card, and I recently sold it. It was a Duke Snyder. It was a PSA 6, but it
Oh,
was so badly off centered that it was one of those cards that it's a great card, Duke Snyder 52 tops, but every time I would look at it, I just couldn't get over how off centered it was. So I was like, I'm just gonna sell it, and you know what? At some point I'll focus on that set and try to get maybe a few that have some good eye appeal. But to your point, it's so tough that it's like that's why I haven't done much with it yet, because it's really hard. It's hard to find ones that you'll feel good about looking at, you know?
yeah, that's it. It's so hard. It's hard because obviously no one likes to poo poo like off centered cards, but everyone can collect what they want, right? I can't look at off centered cards anymore. If they're top to bottom, I have a way bigger tolerance, and I'm not selling a lot of those. But if they're off centered side to side by a decent amount, I have a hard time looking at them now. And I sounds like I'm just some, I don't know what you want to call me, but that's not it. It's my collection, and we can do with whatever we want. And it's so fun to hunt for ones that are well centered. And it is what it is, whether everyone wants to hate on it or not. I just can't look at super far off centered cards the same anymore, and it kind of bummed me out because it's like, man, but
Yeah,
it's not.
real quick on that. I
Yeah.
feel the same way, and I honestly wish I didn't have that bug in my head. I would probably pay a good amount of money to get rid of that, whatever that is, where I look at cards now, and if they're not pretty good centering, I don't know. I don't. I feel bad saying it because all cards are awesome. And again, I don't want to sound like a snob, but I always said I'm going to come on here and just be honest. Whatever's in my head, I'm going to say it, and how I feel at the time. Maybe I'll change my mind, but yeah, I wish I wasn't like that now, where I am so picky with the centering, but I am, and I just got to go with it at this point to really enjoy what I'm buying. And 52 tops cards are very expensive. So if you're gonna get a graded one of some of these big players, you're gonna spend some good money. So you better get a card that you enjoy looking at. That's the way I look at it. That's just, that's
Well,
something I'm
well,
thinking about.
well, well said, Adam. Because I feel the exact same way, and I'm not bummed. I don't want the bug back. That I don't want to not. I don't want to like off center cards again. But I totally get it, and dude, I've unloaded hundreds and hundreds of cards this year because of that, and I'm totally it kind of just a blast because I'm recollecting my entire collection again, and it's morphing. I'm not hunting for the exact same cards again because you can't they don't end, and they're not always up there, and if they are, they're super high priced. So you just can't hunt for the exact same card, so it's more opportunity comes, and I jump on it. But with that said, I find myself buying numerous copies of the same card now, and being really stingy and really like snobby is what you said. Yeah, real snobby with it, and being like, this one is tiny bit this way. Oh wow, I didn't see that. And then I'm like, gosh, are you crazy, Dylan? But you know what? It's fun. So with that said, I got 252 cards that I brought out,
Yeah.
and one that I just truly love. Everyone's seen this one before on my channel. I'm an MVP guy, so you got Bobby Shantz. This is his MVP season, his MVP year. This is a 5, and it's got his autograph with the 1952 AL MVP. I just love this card, and this is centered enough for the 52 that I will never get rid of this card, but I won't buy a card as far off centered as this, and it's not that far off centered.
That's not
It's
that
pretty.
bad. That's
It's not
pretty
bad.
nice.
Pretty nice. And then here's one I just picked up, which I'm really happy with this one, and it is a little off centered, but it is very inexpensive. I just love the Tigers logo. I don't even know who Jerry Pretty is. I have not done any research on it. I'll be honest. Sometimes I just like cards. I don't really care if the picture is cool. Like I know lots of guys really want to know the history of every single guy they buy, but in all honesty, sometimes I just want to look at the card, and when the time comes and I hear his name in a book, or I'll research it, but I'm not going to go on the internet and hunt and research this guy because I just like the card. It was cool. So, different collecting for different people. Not that I don't love history is obviously the most important thing in cards for me. I love that, but there's plenty of times where I buy a card just because it looks cool, and I don't even know who the guy is. I don't care. So, with all that said, Adam, anything else you want to add in the 50s tops run that maybe we left out or hasn't been said?
No, I think that was good, but I think that was like a perfect segue into the next part, which because what you just said really summed up a lot of what I think about too. Is when because I collect different things, I collect different eras with the stuff like vintage that I've collected for a while, mostly stuff from the 50s and 60s. A lot of those cards you could always get. There's always copies on eBay, graded copies. So it's not a matter of like, oh, they don't come around. Like a lot of these great cards from the 50s we're looking at, 50s and 60s, there's always copies available. But by collecting now based on eye appeal rather than grade, it makes it fun. It makes it for me more fun because it is a hunt. Before it was just like I got to save up money so that I could buy that card, right? It was just like time. It was like, all right, I got to save up $500 so I could buy that card. So that was all. And then whenever I have the $500, I'm going to pick the best one and get it. But now it's more about like you might wait a year or two for the right. It could be a two, right? Doesn't matter. But if it looks the way you want it to look, centered or whatever your eye appeal is, that makes it fun. And that makes it, for me, more of a chase, more of a hunt, which for me is one of the most fun things about collecting, rather than just like, saving up money for that next card that you want to get that there's always 20 of on eBay. It's finding the right one regardless of grade. And kind of I know the next thing you want to talk about is my Mantle collection. And I got a couple stacks here that I'll run through pretty quickly. I wanted to show some, but on a higher level, more than just showing these cards, it's a kind of a good example of like you give me a hard time sometimes in a fun way, and I appreciate it because I like that about that. I go after PSA 10s of some of these non-vintage cards, right? So vintage, I'm just like you now. I go after. I don't care about grade. I just want eye appeal for me. But that completely changes once I move out of the vintage era. When I move out of even the 70s or whatever, I move into the 80s and on up. I try to collect nines and tens if I can, because what you'll see here, a lot of my post playing days Mantle cards, there's if you try to get a PSA 10 of one of these cards, like I'll break them out here in a second, but the chase is really in the grade once you move past the vintage era. There's some of these cards where there's probably 1 million they made of these 1986 Mantle post playing days cards, but they might be a pop 7 PSA 10. So it's a combination of a lot of people don't grade them. There's just a ton out there, that are just sitting in binders or boxes or thrown away or still out there in unopened boxes. But the ones that do get graded, they have a very, very low gem rate because they're, again, 40-year-old cards, a lot of them, and there was just bad quality back then. So I've created my own chase by going after these nines and tens. There's some of these Mantle cards from like the 80s that you might see a PSA 10 come up every like 5 years. And, I might be one of the only ones going after them because some of these go for like $97 and they hadn't sold in 5 years, PSA 10 that I'll show. But that's I completely changed my mindset. And I go after real high grades, tens if I can, because that creates a chase for me. Otherwise, I could just go on eBay and every card that I want is raw. I could buy it. And if I wanted to grade it, I could. It will grade a 6 or a 7. But the chase and the fun for me comes in grading. So that's something I want to say positive about grading. I know there's a lot of people say grading's a scam and there's some validity to that. I agree with some of that stuff. But grading also, for me, has created a lot of fun. If it wasn't for grading, I don't know, I wouldn't have nearly as fun of a time collecting. So yeah, in a certain way, I do collect slabs when it comes to a certain era. When you get up to the more modern cards, because that makes it a chase. You know, you can again set your searches, and you might not see them for a long time. When they do come up, it's it's a thrill when you get one. Or if you buy a raw one and you send it in, it comes back a 9 or 10. It's fun, because those are hard to get in some of these cards. So I wanted to say that up front because that's the larger point here. That's probably the most fun I've had in my collection, believe it or not, has been collecting post playing days Mantle cards. It sounds crazy, but it's been really fun. I've been doing it for years, and just the process of trying to get certain ones that are very nostalgic for me, it's been a blast. So I got a little box here if you want. I mean, I just talked.
Hold on. I want to say something before we
Yeah,
continue. Absolutely loved everything you said. I actually agree with everything you said. Everything. I will go out on a limb right now as a collector and say grading is the best thing that ever happened to sports cards. I think it is the greatest achievement in sports cards because for me, I've said this before, it was the great equalizer as a collector, as someone who wasn't comfortable buying raw cards. It gave me a choice in a system that I could buy a grade and know it's authentic and pick what grade I wanted to go. And it just created um I just I don't know where I'm taking that at the really, but in reality, I think I mean, people can hate me for it, but I think grading was the greatest thing that ever happened to sports cards. I think that legitimizes collecting, legitimizes our collections themselves. Whether we can argue all day long what a PSA 1 and a PSA 10 it could be, whole nother topic. But I love graded cards, and I totally love raw cards too. But I just love it. So let me also talk about your Mantle collection. So as you guys know, and I sell on eBay, and I've been selling on eBay for 20 years. Mickey Mantle cards are my number one selling item. And I used to buy bulks and mass loads of Mickey Mantle collections on eBay, and then I break them apart and sell them individually. And over the years and years, I've always wondered who is buying these Mickey Mantle inserts and these regular cards. I sell them for like minimum like $4 each. Even those Chase Topps cards from like 2006, I sell those for $3.69 each. I have thousands of these things, so I probably have 4,000 Mickey Mantle cards. So I've pretty much seen every insert out there. And if I come across one that I haven't seen, it's pretty exciting. So guys like you were all my customers, except you were buying graded ones. But I have regular guys that buy from me for years and years, and they'll come back and then they'll buy $100 worth of raw cards, Mantle cards, and it blows my mind because I've never been into it, and maybe it's because I made a commitment in my head. I can't collect anything but vintage because I'll get sucked in. I have to sell something, right? And so my business model is sell my commons and sell my inserts. And I could not. You have to make a stand as a collector. I'm addicted to baseball cards. Period. Like I had to figure out which way I'm gonna go. And so I love that I finally met someone like you, and you collect all these cards that I sell. It's just fascinating to me. And I have a question. Have you got any graded? Because you did buy some from me. Have you got any of those graded?
I have the stack ready. I was going to mention that. I have a stack ready of cards that I bought from you, but I'm waiting for grading to come. I think, let's see, recording error. What does that mean? Open the recording tab to.
It's still working.
Okay, never mind then. Whatever that is on my screen, no idea.
None of this is recorded.
Okay, we're still live. I haven't graded those yet. I have a bunch of yours and also other ones that I've bought raw. Where I'm waiting. I'm waiting for I'm hoping it can get back. If there's like someone gets back to $10 grading,
Yeah.
I'm waiting on that. So I haven't done that. But over the last few years, before I didn't obviously when grading was just crazy, right? When you had to pay $100 to grade a card. Obviously, I'm not doing that, but there was a time when you could grade cards for $10 or whatever. Where it was fun. You try to buy raw Mantle cards and see if you can get a 9 or a 10, and that's what kind of I've come to the conclusion that there's a reason why a lot of these pop reports are pretty low. Of course, there's lower demand for these type of cards, but they just don't grade. A lot of these don't grade well. I'm not talking about cards from, like the 2000s, but some of these cards from like the late 70s, 80s, even some of the 90s, they don't grade well. So they don't. So that's why a lot of people don't do it, and that's why I kind of like that chase, because some of these. I have a few Pop One Mantle post playing day cards and a PSA 10 that I mean, it's just crazy that there's very low populations, low demand, but also just the nature of it. They don't grade 9s and 10s, most of them. So that's why you see a lot of those raw out there.
Well, let's see here. Let's see.
Oh.
So why don't you give us how many Mantle cards, non-playing day Mantle cards, do you own? Do you think? Do you have a record of it?
Well, no. So I wanted to say this too. I am not a volume collector. I am not like some of these guys you see on YouTube where they have, it seems like, endless cards, raw and graded and everything like that. I am definitely more of a selective guy with cards. Like I don't have the space or the desire really to have a lot of cards. So I'm trying to do it where I can keep them in just like 4 or 5 Zion cases, right? So I'm kind of, that's why I've been selling some cards, because I'm going over that a little bit. But I don't have a ton of raw cards anymore. I gave a bunch away, gave some to my nephew. I got some boxes, so I probably have maybe a couple hundred Mantle post playing day cards in boxes. But I probably have maybe 1 Zion case full of post playing days Mantle graded cards. So it's been more of like, if I had a 9 in one of these and then a 10 popped up, I sell the 9 and now I have the 10. So I do the upgrade rather than doing doubles and so forth.
Gotcha.
So I'm trying to keep it same idea. I know this can get out of hand, right? And I don't want that to happen. I don't want to become a hoarder. It's just not in the cards, so to speak, for me right now. I want to keep it like focused and be able to keep my stuff. Someday I want to be able to put most of it up on a wall. So right now I don't really have the best setup for that like you, but that is my ultimate goal, is I want to be able to display most of my cards and not have a bunch of them tucked away. So anyway, without further ado, so basically Mickey Mantle's career ended, in his last playing days card was 1969. So
now, wasn't Mantle his last game in 68? His last time he batted?
Yep. He didn't play in 69, but Topps.
So weird.
He retired. I think it was like later, so that they put him in that 69 set, which created one of the coolest Mantle cards, which is the Mantle in white letters 1969 Topps card, which is like one of the first parallels, right? And it's very chased after, and it sells for a lot more money. So it's cool that they did that. They probably did it unintentionally, So, but it's cool that that's out there. But this is something I found out about pretty recently. I want to credit Mike Junkwax Hero. He did a video on this, and I had no idea. Did you know that Mickey Mantle is actually in the 1971 Topps Yankees team card?
Wow.
Let me zoom way in, and there he is, right there, like to the right, second one almost in there.
Oh yeah. I see him.
Yep. Folding his arms. He was the first base coach in 70 or 71. So this, I guess, qualifies as a Mickey Mantle post playing days card.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to get on eBay right now before everyone else does.
Yeah. So I saw a video Mike did. I saw it. And I was like, oh, I got to get one of those. So thank you. Yep.
That's sick.
So that's kind of like my first post playing days card of Mantle. You'll love these. But then one of the first, if not the first card on card, 75.
Oh yeah.
This is a mint 9 O-Pee-Chee.
Wow.
Love the card on card of that 75. And then I got the other one too in a PSA 8, the 57 MVP card on card.
Glorious.
And so what's also cool too is, do you have any TCMA cards?
I do. I have a few of those right now.
This is a 77 Mantle TCMA card. Again, to try to find one of these, I have saved searches. I've had them for a long time. You do not see 9s and 10s of this card pop up. There's, I don't know how many out there, not a ton, but 8.5 is the highest. I got this card graded myself. and I was happy with an 8.5. But 77 TCMA Renata Galasso Mickey Mantle card, 8.5. These are tough, so it makes it fun because when they do pop up, I get all excited, you know?
Yeah.
And then you've probably seen this set before, Baseball Immortals.
That's one of my favorite sets of all time.
1980, first printing, 8.5. Again, anyone out there, if anyone has a lead on a 9, I don't care if it's SGC or PSA or whatever, a 9 or a 10 in this card, hit me up. I'm buying. So
I might have a 9 sitting in my box. I got a few of those.
No.
Yeah, way.
Well, I'll tell you, man, these
I'm
cards.
I'm gonna look through them now.
They don't grade well at all.
Wow,
so 8.5 is like a win for this card.
Wow.
But I just love, these are nostalgic for me. As a kid, these were the cards I had. You know, these are the best Mantle cards I could get when I was a kid. So going back now and trying to hunt for 9s and 10s, it's fun. And let's see, 83. We all know the Hall of Fame heroes. 83 Donruss Perez Steel card. Man, for a while it took me to find a PSA 10 of this card. And
man, I bet I have like 100 of those.
Yeah, again, there are so many of these, right? But try to find a 10 in some of these cards. It's very tough, very tough.
This is good. This is a learning lesson for me. I love it.
This is a crazy one. Okay, how about a Joplin Miners? Okay, this is a 1984 baseball card magazine cutout.
I have not seen that.
It's in a 1984 baseball card magazine. It's a hand cut, so it's pulled out of the magazine. I think this is either a Pop 2 or a Pop 1. There's only 1 or 2 PSA 10s of this that exist. Wow. And it's just a cool card. I mean, it's from a magazine, which I love. And it's got him with his, it's like a pre-rookie card, you know, with a Joplin Miners uniform on. So
that's incredible.
Love this card. This one of my favorite nostalgic sets, 86 Big League Chew.
Oh, yeah.
And again, if anyone knows of a 9 or a 10 in this card, please let me know. I want to buy it. 8.5 is the best I've been able to get so far on this one.
I'm gonna look through my box.
I've been looking on eBay for a long, long time, years. I've never seen one pop up in a 9 or a 10. So
wow.
Yeah. Weird. But again, it makes it fun for me. I like that. Because otherwise it would just be like in one day I could go on eBay and scoop up all the raw cards of this, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I'm just not a volume collector. I'm looking to, have like one copy of a card, and if I can, in these, like the best grade I can get. So I know you're not a huge fan of these, but I always thought I still don't understand how they work. But this is the 1986 Sport Flicks Mickey Mantle Decade Greats and a PSA 10. And again, tough card. They don't grade that well, right? So it's pretty cool to have this.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Sport Flicks at all. I know.
I've heard you say that.
As a kid, I'm like, I just like run my fingernail along it, making the sound. That was about all I liked about them.
Yep, I got it. How about this one? Everyone's probably seen this one.
Oh, yeah.
All-time greats. If anyone has ever seen a PSA or SGC 10 of this card, please let me know. This is the best I've been able to do, a PSA 9 mint in this card. Again, I had like a stack of these when I was a kid, but they were all off-centered. They were all, they're just, you don't find high grades. All right, we're moving up. 88. These are all nostalgic cards. 88. I had I don't know where I got it, but this is Mickey. This is a promo card from Mickey Mantle's restaurant. In 1988, he opened a restaurant. I don't know if it might still be open in New York City.
Yeah, who did he open that with? Another player, yeah?
I don't know. It says on the back, it says for immediate release, opening day was February 6, 1988. Yankee legend returns to New York to open a restaurant and sports bar on the glamorous Central Park South. I don't know. It might have just been him, and it might still be open. And one of the good business ventures he ever did was that restaurant, I heard. But I had one of these when I was a kid, all beat up, and the best I've been able to do so far is a mint 9 on this. But
he opened it up for the booze.
Yeah, I'm sure he hung out.
Sorry, Nick.
Yep.
I know you stopped at the end.
That's right. And these are my most nostalgic, and this is my favorite set of post-playing days Mantle.
Wow.
And these are big ones. I've never shown these. These are pretty recent pickups. You've probably seen, I did a video on the 1988 Pacific Legends, another one of those sets that seems like most people don't care about. But for me, when I was a kid, that was like, I love that set.
That's the
like
gray border.
Yep.
Really
And
ugly gray border.
I waited years. I don't think a PSA 10, there's 7 PSA 10s of this card. I don't care what year it's from. It's one of the best Mantle pictures I've ever seen on a card.
That is a nice looking photo of Mantle.
That's Mickey Mantle. That is a Mickey Mantle photo. And you look at some of his playing days cards, especially like some of the ones from the 60s where he was hungover and getting old. They're not the best photos. They're great, great cards because of the time period they're from and the sets they're from. But come on, some of these Mantle cards, the photos aren't great from the 60s. But this, I don't care. It's from 1988. This is, when I think Mickey Mantle, this is a 1952 patch on. So this is him taken during the 52 season. And just a beautiful photo. I've never seen this photo. It's not a reprint from another card or something else. This is the first time I ever saw this photo on this card. And
that's really cool. About the patch too. I wouldn't never known that.
Yep.
That's awesome.
I had a PSA 9. Again, a PSA 9 you can, get for $20-$30 when they come up. There's, I think, 20 or 30 of them, but the 10, there's 7 of them. And I waited, I think it was 10 years. It was 10 years before, I think the last one that sold before I bought this one in 2022 here for $97. It was 2011 was the last PSA 10 that sold. So
wow.
I never thought one would come up. I graded a bunch myself. I sent in some ones that looked pretty good, and it came back 8s, 7s, and 8s. So, this was such a, I've never been so excited to win a $97 card in an auction. It was
that's insane.
Great. And then, I really went for it on this one. I really wanted to commemorate that set because it's my favorite set, 1988 Pacific Legends.
Wow.
I don't think there's that many that I've been able to see autographed ones of this. This is a BGS, same card. I don't know why they grade autographs, but this is a 10 autograph. Beautiful autograph. Love the way he signed it. Great signature. And to get this card signed, this was a huge get for me.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. That is just an incredible card right there.
What a feeling when I got that and I got the PSA 10. It felt like, it felt a little like sad. I was like, oh, that chase is over.
Chase is done.
But I'm so glad I have it now,
Yes.
All right, I'm moving along. I got to move a little quicker here on these. You remember the starting lineups, right? Well, how about I think this is like pop 3 or 2. There's only been PSA 10 of this Mantle card, 1989 starting lineup card that came in the box with the action figure. I got this a while back, but very hard to find on these. Not that most people probably don't want them, but that's okay. I hope it stays that way. I'll keep
That's an awesome card.
Yep. And then 89 Bowman. This reprint of this is a Tiffany PSA 10. It's a reprint, I know, but I love the set when it came out because it was like reprints of old Mantle cards. So got this one. I got the hardest copy to find. PSA 10 and a Tiffany.
It's a Tiffany. Oh, yep. Wow. Okay.
Tiffany.
Dude, you gotta take that stupid PSA case off right now.
I know.
In the way. It's blocking the card. Rip that thing off of there.
Every card I show that I take the sleeve off, I just throw the sleeve away now. I'm not using sleeves anymore.
Right? Oh, that's good. It stacks better.
I'm done with the sleeves, man. It's because it's like if it scratches the case, whatever, like you can't see the card that great. So
yeah, I agree.
All right, I got a few more left here.
Dude, I hope you brought the scores.
I did. That's what's coming up
good.
here. These are some of the real big ones. Those are like nostalgic cards that don't come around, but these are, you've probably seen some of these. This is just a funny one, a reprint of 52 Topps. The closest I can get to this card right now. This is a promo code from the 91 East Coast National PSA 10.
Really cool.
This thing sells for like $300-$400, believe it or not.
I was gonna guess that.
Yeah, so it's just cool to have this. This I think is a pop one. This is a 91 Tough Stuff Junior cutout from 91 Tough Stuff Junior PSA 10 Mantle card.
I have never seen that card before, but I don't see cutout cards.
No, it's just oddball stuff. Stuff. And that's what's so fun about doing this is Mantle's like a constant. He's in all these different sets all through the years, even after his career. like you said, insert cards. So by going after those, you discover sets and oddball stuff that you probably never would have all throughout the 80s and 90s, 2000s. So you learn a lot too by collecting a player that's in that many sets over the years. All right, here are the two biggies that you were talking about. All right, pack odds. This is 1991 score. There was a 7 subset of Mantle cards that were inserted, where I think it was 356 copies of each one were supposedly autographed, but there's no way that many are out there. And this is a going, gone. This is the pack odds on these are apparently 1 in 30,000 packs of 91 score.
That's like one of the coolest cards to me. That card's so way, I don't want to say it, but it's way undervalued compared to like a Kobe Bryant auto or a Michael Jordan auto, and that's from 92. Like those were unheard of. You never would have seen that as a kid. Never.
91, and yeah, this is 91 score, and yeah, mint 9 BGS 10 auto. I mean, the thing I don't try to collect every Mantle post playing days cards. It's just if I like the look of it, if I like the photo, if I like the look of the card, I'll go after it. But I'm not like a completionist where I'm like trying to get every Mantle card because I'm not interested in that. I just want to get the ones that I like the look of. And this, great shot, action shot.
Yeah, that one's insane.
I call him, he's the king of the hobby because obviously for the card reasons, but everything like even his signature is like perfect. It's like
it is.
Signature. I don't know. It's just like beautiful. And I have one other from that subset. One of the greatest photos. Young Mick and Billy Martin getting ready to go out on the town.
Troublemakers.
8.5 BGS 10 auto. The auto is actually on the back in this one.
Yep, that's awesome.
So, the rookie.
Really cool.
These are just really cool cards. And moving on here, 94. Now he didn't have a 1954 Topps card, but in 94, Upper Deck did what their version would have been. Mint 9 on that. 94 awesome. Mantle. Imagine if that card existed. That would be
that's such a good looking card.
Yep. Probably so my biggest post Mantle playing days card. Everyone knows this one. This is the 94 Upper Deck Mantle Griffey. Now I because I don't, I collect Mantle, I wanted to save some money. And I said I'm going for the one that just has the Mantle auto on it.
So that's it.
Yeah.
Wow. Dude, I can't believe you have that card. It's just incredible.
Yeah, this was one I had to get. Expensive card. I think the pack odds on these were like 1 in 3,500, 1 in 3,000 or something like that, but they're probably even higher than that. Got a 9 on the autograph. No idea why. It looks like a good signature, but again, I don't understand the whole auto grading thing, to be honest.
I'm not too keen on that either. I don't quite get it.
But just
like the pen ran out of ink, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, I pulled out a few more. I'm going to go through these quick, but Ken Golden owned a company called Scoreboard in the late 90s.
Oh yeah, I have plenty of those up for sale.
this number 7, right? This is like the super short print, right? So they did there was like a 7-card series. You had to collect all 7, and if you send them in, then you can win like $7,700 or something. So it was like a little contest, and this was like the chase card.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's good.
Yeah, the number 7.
Wow.
So I got it in at 9.5. Now the question is, did Ken Golden actually pay out on that contest? I think the guys from Sports Card Radio might want to look into that.
Oh man, don't mention.
No. Who's that? I've never heard. Sports Card who? All right. And then again, Scoreboard, same thing. Again, you could get these cards in a PSA 10 for like when they come up $20. But what I love is, look at awesome. This. It's got a switch hitting photo. Remember that card from 62 Topps that says the switch hitter connects? I love that card.
Yeah. Two pictures, or is that 3 or 2 pictures? Or
well, it has 3. But one of the things that always kind of bugged me about it, even though I love it, is I always thought, like, why didn't they show him switch hitting? They should have had a photo of him. Every photo is him, I think, hitting from the left side of the plate on that card. And I always thought, like, if they use like a photo like this or whatever, that would have been even better.
Yeah, that would have been insane.
Yeah. Again, by collecting Mantle through all these years, you get to really go through the evolution of the hobby, or some people would call it the de-evolution of the hobby. But I love these patch cards. This is 2001 Upper Deck game used pinstripe card, PSA 10 of Mantle.
Oh yeah, that's one of the original. That's one of the originals. That's when they started doing the inserts, the patches and stuff.
Yeah, they just started that up like a couple years before that, maybe. And here's a back card from the same set, PSA 10. So this Mantle game use stuff, and even if your guy's not Mantle, if you collect, Stan Musial, Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, a lot of the guys are in these sets too with the same type of cards where, it's fun. I think it's fun. You can chase, like every set I showed through the 80s and so forth. It's not just Mantle. There's a lot of legends that whoever your guy is, if it's Stan Musial, you could try to do something like that. And it is fun if you have any interest. So
here.
Oh, there it is. Yep. Switch hitter connects. I love that card, but yeah, it doesn't look like it's got all left-handed swings on there. All right. I only got a few more, but stuff like some of these photos are so much better than like what you see on some of his vintage cards.
That thing's incredible. That one. 08, yeah.
2008 tops. Not a hard card to find, but I just love the design, love the photo. So for me, that's like you were talking about. For you, it's not always about the player. Sometimes you just love a card regardless of the player. And I'm like that with Mantle cards too. It's like the card just looks awesome. I don't care what year it's from. It's a card. I don't care if it's after he played. Thing just looks great. So that's why I want to have them. And 2008, again, look at that like photo. We got the number, SGC 10, 2008 tops Mantle. And I've had people been like, why do you grade or get graded cards of Mantle from 2007 or 2008?
That's me.
And my answer is because I like them.
I love it.
The same guys you see on YouTube that they're always preaching, collect what you like, collect what you love. They're the same guys asking me why I collect graded copies of Mantle from 2007. So it's like, which is it? I'm collecting what I like.
Well, hey, 2008 tops right there. That's in the running for my favorite design in the 2000s. I love that 2008.
Oh, good.
So sick.
And then you can even do your shiny stuff if you like that stuff. Mantle, you got an X-Fractor. Look at this card.
Yeah.
I know we're vintage guys at heart, right? But you got to admit, that's a cool, look at that card.
Yeah, I can admit that looks pretty awesome.
I mean, you just got to, it's a different mindset, but like, this is beautiful, man. A PSA 10, 2011 Topps Chrome, X-Fractor, the Mick diving. I mean, that's just cool to me. I don't care what year.
It's awesome.
And then all right, I got four more real quick. Sorry, I'm going along with this.
You don't have to apologize.
We're in 2021 now, so I go throughout the years. This is a dice. I graded this myself. Dice game card. That's a very I think there's 4 originals that exist. So 2021 Topps did a reprint set of all Mantle's cards, including the dice game card, and they have parallels. And this is a gold version, numbered to 50. And I sent it in, got a 9.5.
Awesome.
This is the closest I'll ever get to a dice game card, and I'm okay with that. I love it. And I also scored. This was a big score for me. I could sell this card for like pretty good money. This is a same card, but it's a 7 parallel, meaning they're numbered to 7. So there's only 7 of these, and I scored one of these in a box I got for like $15 or whatever.
What number did you get? Is that a 6?
Yeah, it's a 6.
Is that his original number, right?
Yeah, it's original. So it's not maybe as good as a 7, but he did wear 6.
That's awesome. That's kind of unique right there.
Yep. So if I put this up on eBay, there are a few crazy people like me. This thing would probably go for like $500.
Yeah, I bet. Especially I feel like number 6, when you know the history of Mantle and that, it's pretty special.
2 more. I mentioned this on one of our I think it was the 50s thing we did maybe, but one of the things we're on together. This is a card I got from that same thing, 2021 Topps X, the only gold label. This is a gold label in 51 Topps design of what a Mantle card would be if he had one.
Dude, that's glorious. A gold label. I never see those.
No, I literally, I was shocked. I'm like, a gold label? How did I get a gold label? But it is. It's, looks like it's perfect. So, and then the last one.
Oh, hold on. Let me get you back.
Last one. One more. People will get a kick out of this one. you really want to go modern, how about a Kaboom?
Oh,
Did you
Kaboom.
even know that Mantle had a Kaboom?
Never knew that ever.
I mean, look, I get it. I make fun of it too, the shiny stuff and the modern crazy prices and everything, but come on. Look at this card. Look at this thing.
You know what it's missing though?
His logo. Yeah,
The
because it's
logo.
cheap.
Where's the Yankees logo?
I know.
That's the sad part. It's
I
not
know.
their fault. But
There's nothing they could do about that, I guess. But yeah, Kaboom Mantle from 2021 Absolute SGC 10, and man, just
dude,
look at that thing shine.
Jeff would love that.
Who?
Jeff, sports card investor, he
Oh,
would love that card right there.
yeah. Who knows? I may sell it to him because I've said this before, but a lot of my collection someday, I have a white whale out there with Mantle, and it's the 52 tops, right? I kind of downplay it because part of me is like, I guess, mad at myself for not making a move on it years back or whatever. And it's the same thing. It's hard to find one that you really like the look of in I mean, it's crazy prices, right? But even if you want to get a one that's like looks like it got run over by a truck, and you got to pay 20,000 for it. But at some point, it might be 10, 20 years from now. I don't know. At some point, I'm going to have to sell a big portion of my collection unless I come into some money or hit the lottery, because I need to have one of those at least for some point, because that will complete my Mantle run. I haven't shown them. Maybe we'll do this some other time, but yes. I think every other Mantle, mainstream playing days card besides the 52 tops. So that's the last one. I'm not getting anytime soon, but I have to get it at some point. So I might have to sell a lot of cards to do that.
Who knows? See what
so
happens,
there we are.
Right? Dude, Adam, so stoked you shared all that. I learned a whole bunch because I have a whole bunch of that stuff and it's just not graded. I'm gonna go in my boxes and siphon through my cards and see if there's anything that I should be getting graded and take them off the eBay site, because I have thousands of Mantle cards like that, just not graded. So it kind of opened my eyes.
I'm buying right here. So
yeah, exactly. Well, anything else you want to add before we let everybody go?
I don't think so. No, I think we went an hour, so that's pretty good. Perfect amount of time, and this was cool. Episode 2 in the books, and already looking forward to episode 3. Like I mentioned on the last one, feel free, anyone watching out there, shoot us ideas, things you'd like us to turn back the clock and look at, and then also current and future stuff that we can talk about, topics like that, because we like to do that on every episode. Talk about stuff from the past and talk about some current and future stuff too. So please feel free.
Awesome. Love it. And I think I could do a caveat for both of us saying this, is that things that we talk about and things we discuss, there are opinions, and when you're collecting things, you collect anything you want. And when you hear someone say this is the most important thing in collecting, don't take what they say as the facts. Do your own research and do your own thought process and run it through your own brain and collect what makes you happy and what satisfies your collecting needs. So what we have to say is just, we like to express it, and that's all. So with all that said, you guys were awesome for staying around and listening, and we had an absolute blast. Episode 2 of Turn Back the Clock. And Adam and I are just grateful to be doing this and enjoy it. So with that said, guys, we'll see you in a couple weeks for episode number 3 on Adam's Splendid Sports channel. So that's it, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Later.